Hello and welcome to Easter Egg Hunting, a show that dissects your favorite games looking for hidden secrets and Easter eggs. We're gonna try our hardest to show you any and all Easter eggs that we can find in any game, and we'll even be throwing in a bit of trivia as well. This time we'll be covering the Fallout series, more specifically Fallout 1, 2, 3, and Fallout New Vegas. Because of the immense size of these games and the amount of references in them, we'll only be covering the most notable Easter eggs and references. And as the games are fairly non-linear, we'll also be covering the content in alphabetical order this time, rather than in chronological order. So let's not waste any time and jump straight into Fallout 1 Easter eggs. For the first of our many movie references, in the film A Boy and His Dog, Vic refers to his telepathic dog known as Blood as dog meat. It's possible that the dog in the Fallout series, also called dog meat, is a reference to this. Not to mention, the pre-made character Albert Cole may have gotten his name from the same film. Blood, the pre-mentioned psychic-powered dog, would often call the boy Albert, even though that wasn't his real name.
One does not say ain't Albert, simply say I'm not kidding.
Fine, dog meat. And stop calling me Albert.
A Boy and His Dog itself was also shown at a post-apocalyptic film festival, which was held to promote the release of Fallout 3. Then, to jump to the very end of the game, the final 21st level has the title Last Best Hope of Humanity in the Vault Dweller's Survival Guide. This phrase has its origin in Abraham Lincoln's closing remarks to his 1862 annual message to Congress: "We shall nobly save, or meanly lose, the last best hope of Earth." For the first of a few novel references, when a paladin asks the Vault Dweller what they have to report, the player responds with, "All quiet on the Western Front." This is a reference to All Quiet on the Western Front, a novel by German World War I veteran Erich Maria Remarque. Then, in the hub's Old Town district, the thugs guarding the Brotherhood Initiate prisoner in a specific quest will attack you on sight, and one of them will sometimes say, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" Just like the recurring line of the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman.
You ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Within the vast amounts of weapons in the game, the .223 pistol in Fallout and Fallout 2 was modelled after Rick Deckard's handgun from the movie Blade Runner. The gun also appears again in New Vegas, named as That Gun. According to Joshua Sawyer, the lead designer of New Vegas, the reason it was named that is because many players referred to it as That Gun from Fallout and Fallout 2. Whenever travelling from one place to another throughout the game, it's possible to encounter strange events while wandering the wasteland. These include the appearance of a blue British police box. As the Vault Dweller approaches it, a light on the top will begin to spin and the box will fade away. This is a reference, of course, to the TARDIS from the UK TV series Doctor Who, a time-travelling spaceship that takes on the form of an old British police box. Also, one of the common items found throughout the game, Mentats, are actually a reference in themselves. Making their first appearance in Fallout 1, Mentats are used to raise both the player's perception and intelligence stats. The Mentats themselves, though, first appeared in the 1965 Frank Herbert novel, Dune, and they were actually humans that had been trained to mimic the analytical behaviour and ability of electronic devices such as computers. Mentats could increase their ability by taking something called Sappho juice, an addictive serum taken from roots. Similarly, Mentats in Fallout are used to increase the player's mental capability, but are considered highly addictive. If in the game you find yourself in a skirmish, however, you may see the critical hit message, "The attack crushes the temple, Goodnight Gracie." And this is a reference to the George Burns and Gracie Allen show and the Goodnight Gracie legend.
Be careful, the life you save may be your own.
That's right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Good night.
The Fallout series as a whole never tried too hard to hide its influential roots, that mostly being Mad Max the Road Warrior. The most obvious signs of this influence come in the dog partnership the main character has in their respective series and the design of the leather jacket seen in the first 3 Fallout games. Mad Max itself was actually influenced by another source, that being the post-apocalyptic short stories A Boy and His Dog and Egg Sucker, written by Harlan Ellison. For something a little bit weirder, the design for Vault Boy was actually inspired by Rich Uncle Pennybags from the board game Monopoly. For a much more obscure reference, however, in the hub you can meet a lady known as Mrs. Stapleton, the librarian. Her surname is shared with that of a character found in a skit performed by Monty Python's Flying Circus, in which a Mr. Stapleton runs a bookstore performing shady business with the Secret Service dentists.
Drop that gun, Stapleton! Okay, Stapleton, this is it. Where's Mahoney hidden the fillings?
Going back to nearer the end of the game, the line, "I can't believe those bastards finally did it, damn them all to hell," in Captain Maxim's diary is strikingly similar to Charlton Heston's famous outcry,
"He finally really did it. You blew it up! Damn you all to hell!"
from the final scene of the Planet of the Apes. But then, right back at the very beginning of the game, at the entrance to Vault 13, it's possible to come across a corpse. When examining a corpse, a message will appear that reads, "You see Ed. Ed's dead." It's believed that this may well be a reference to a line of dialogue found in the 1994 film Pulp Fiction, in which Bruce Willis's character is asked,
"Whose chopper is this?"
Zed's.
When asked who Zed is, he states,
"Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead."
Later on down the road, when you find the leader of the Thieves Guild, Locksley, he himself is a reference to one of the names given to the famous outlaw Robin Hood, Robin of Locksley. Locksley's fake British accent and anachronistic clothing are part of the reference. Even before booting up the game itself though, this little Easter egg can be found at the opening cinematic, featuring a TV showing various news clips in black and white. As it zooms out, we are shown the brand of television is in fact Radiation King. This is a reference to season 6 episode 10 of The Simpsons called Grandpa vs. Sexual Inadequacy, in which we see Homer Simpson's childhood television set is created by the same company. The name is in reference to the fact that early tube-powered TV sets were found to be poorly shielded and thus emitted levels of X-ray radiation that broke modern safety standards. Later on, Radiation King products could be found throughout the entire Fallout series. Back in the hub, look for Deputy Kenny in the police station, and if he should die in battle, or like me, you kill him outright, a message will appear in the message box reading, "They killed Kenny, those bastards." This is a reference to the running joke of Kenny dying in numerous episodes of the popular TV series South Park, in response to which Kyle and Stan will say the exact same line. Still in the hub, when the Vault Dweller is trying to blackmail Iguana Bob, one of the dialogue options is to say, "Prime Choice Select is made of people. It's made of people." And this is in reference to another Charlton Heston movie line from the film Soylent Green.
You gotta tell him, Soylent Green is people!
The Brotherhood soldiers who accompany you to the mutant military base will sometimes say, "I've come to kick ass and chew bubblegum and I'm all out of bubblegum." A line from the 1988 movie They Live.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Also, when the player enters the scum pit in Junktown and talks to one of the Skulls gangers, one of the available dialogue options is, "I came here to kick ass and chew gum." I think you can guess the rest. Not only is this phrase from They Live, but it's also one of the main catchphrases of Duke Nukem.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
When next playing Fallout 1 or even 2, keep an eye out for many of the buildings in the game, for there are some posters that are of Maynard from Tool. The poster is part of the album art from the band's first album, Undertow, in 1993. Now, you wouldn't think a peasant would have anything majorly important to say, hence this Easter egg is bound to go unnoticed by a few people. But back in the hub yet again, a peasant in the hub is likely to say, "Let's go play Global Thermal Nuclear War," a reference to the film War Games.
Shall we play a game?
Oh, how about global thermonuclear war?
A psyker makes a reference to the Wonderful Wizard of Oz while pacing in their cell in the Los Angeles Vault beneath the cathedral. The dialogue should read, "There is no place like home, no place like home, no place like home," while pacing back and forth, repeated over and over again, just like in the source material.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
For our last bit of Fallout 1 egg hunting that has no reference to any media and instead the team itself, there is a character in the Boneyard called Chris Avalon. This is actually a strange inside joke from programmer and designer Jesse Heinig about how Chris Avalon himself neither has a past nor a future. And finally, in both Fallout 1 and 2, if you were to enable large icons in Windows, the icons for Fallout and Fallout 2 executables would turn into Tim Kane's head, who was one of the programmers and main designers for Fallout. Don't forget to subscribe to DidYouKnowGaming for more facts and trivia. Thanks very much for watching this video, everyone, and please let us know if we've missed any Easter eggs. Please keep in mind that there will be more parts to come with the other games, and also if you want to hear more of my ridiculous, horrible, disgusting voice, then you can have a look at part 1 of my Uncharted Trilogy retrospective series. Yes, I'm going to be covering Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 every 2 weeks, and part 1 is already done, so if you want to have a look at that and, well, see when part 2 and part 3 come out, that'd be great. There is Uncharted 4 coming out as well, which is the same number as the most recent Fallout game, Fallout 4, that just came out, so that is your link.